of Homa Bay County, and she came for the burial ceremony of the late Irene Achieng, who was working in the office of the Suna East MP Junet Mohammed, who passed, is it passed away or passed on?
Who passed?
Who passed. Okay, who passed, who left us to go and be with the Lord. The burial was in Suna East, just behind Blue Shine Academy, and the burial was also attended by Suna West MP Peter Masara. The burial was attended by the governor himself, Dr. Chila Yako. The burial was attended by Kasipul MP Sir Charles Ongondowere, who was also in attendance, and the leaders there preached peace. The leaders there preached peace, and Junet Mohammed encouraged the Migori County leaders to at least work together, because there is no leader who was elected on a Monday, another leader elected on a Tuesday, another leader elected on a Wednesday, another leader elected on a Thursday, another leader elected on a Friday. Each and every leader was elected on, is it 9th of August, and it was on a Tuesday, right? Yeah, so every leader was elected on that day, and so there is no reason as to why every leader should work alone, especially while going to lobby for development agenda or rather development projects in the State House, or rather in the office of the president, because even the president himself might wonder that you leaders, were you not elected together to serve the people of Migori? And Madam Wanga echoed the peace preaching and encouraged the leaders at least to work together. And I saw Madam Wanga was really disappointed by our MCAs who happened to attend the burial yesterday, because most of the MCAs yesterday, they were just preaching violence. They were just preaching violence. An MCA yesterday just stood and said, you know, vijana oye oye, vijana oye oye, mtu akitusi mtu hapa mpige, achapwe. Leo hatutaki mtu kutusi mtu hapa. So, you know, such like utterances, when they come from our leaders, then we should be worried as the electorates. Are we the electorates?
Yes.
Yes, we should be worried, because when a leader anasimama alafu anaanza kuambia vijana, mtu akileta matusi hapa piteni na yeye, it does not give a good picture. Yeah, and then, you know, the burial was also presided over by the church, and then, you know, when another MCA anaamka tu anasema, oh, itabidi usubiri, hata kuna mnyama huwa anasubiri mwenzake anatoka kwanza ndio ananini. So you know we can't mention the real words here, but the MCA was like, you know, he took us to the other side of the world, where, you know, when that animal, when the animal, you know, there's this animal which, when they are mating, group, so, you know, another animal must wait for another animal to at least finish sleeping, ndio yeye pia
finish mating with the other
atandikiwe godoro, ye pia anze kulala. You know, so when you're making such like utterances boldly in front of the church, and in fact I saw the church was so disappointed in
now my question will be, what brings all this? Why do you think the people, all the leaders, have the courage to go to an extent even to say this publicly, even warning that if in case somebody is abused here, apigwe? Nini hasa inaleta mambo kama haya? Kwa sababu mambo hayachipuki tu.
What happens is that, you know, in that in that burial ceremony, there was a leader. There was this one leader who have declared that he's going to vie for the gubernatorial seat in Migori come 2027. And you know, there are leaders who are against this, and so the leaders who are against this, they were trying to send signal that if in any case this leader who wants to vie for this seat will stand up, and then will send some, or rather will atatoa matamshi mabaya, kwa sababu unajua hata huyo kiongozi mwenyewe kuna sehemu zingine akienda huwa anatoa matamshi mabaya. Au sijui kuna mtu alifanya kazi tukaona kitu hiki, kuna mwingine alifanya kazi tukaona kitu hiki, kuna mwingine alifanya kazi chenye tunaona ni vichwa vya watu ambao sijui waliuliwa wakawekwa kwenye shamba la miwa. So you know, such utterances. So you know, our leaders, I don't blame one side, but I blame every side, because
so
our leaders,
inamaanisha kitambo jambo hili litokee, kuna chanzo, kuna mahali ambapo
kuna chanzo, and so the leaders maybe thought that in that forum the same leader maybe will stand up and then say, you know, what this particular leader left is this one. Well, then we had this particular leader, he left us with this. Then we had this particular leader, then he left us with this. Then we had this particular leader, he left us with sijui vichwa vya watu sijui nini ambao waliuliwa wakaachwa kwenye shamba la nini. So you know, so I think that is what brought about such like utterances, that if in any case someone will abuse someone, or rather will throw words in quotes, the direct translation, will throw words, then you also be ready to throw, or maybe just be ready for violence. And the governor of Homa Bay was not very happy with the utterances, because I could see him, people were laughing, people were smiling, but with him alikuwa ameshika tu tama, anashangaa what's happening in Migori County, because with Wanga, she can walk everywhere she goes with at least an MP, two, or rather when there's when she have a function, maybe a state function, then all the MPs will come together. But all the occasions whereby Wanga has come to Migori, hajapata hao viongozi wakiwa pamoja. And you know, this one should really worry. And as the party chair, he promised that he will have a meeting with the leaders while we were in the, how do we call it, that ceremony of Mr. Speaker, the current Speaker, Mr. Rusana. How do you call such a ceremony?
In homecoming.
Yes, the homecoming ceremony. Madam Wanga promised to have these leaders together, sorry for that, have these leaders together in a meeting so that at least they can discuss matters affecting Migori. And I don't know when she will have the meeting with them, but I believe she will have the meeting with them so that at least all these shenanigans we are seeing can come to an end, because we only have a few years, I think less than 2 years to the next general election, and we really need to have a peaceful county.
But I also think, you see, it boils back to our leaders. And ni jambo la muhimu sana kama viongozi tuweze kujua ni wapi tunafikia, ni wapi hatufiki, kwa sababu hatuwezi kuwa ya kwamba kila wakati kiongozi akisimama matamshi ambayo yanatoka kwenye kinywa chao sio matamshi mazuri. Tunastahili kuzingatia ile uhusiano, ile ukarimu. Tukue karibu na wenzetu, tuweze kuzungumza zaidi, tuweze kujuana, tuweze kuona jinsi tunaweza kukua na maendeleo katika nchi yetu, katika kaunti yetu hasa ya Migori. Na kando na hayo, je, kunayo mengine ambayo pia alitukia hapa Migori? Niliona wiki jana Raila Amolo Odinga alikuwa hapa Migori na alikuja kwa njia ambayo watu wengi hawakuwa wanajua anakuja. Unaweza kusemaje juu ya jambo hilo?
Yeah, tumekuwa na Raila Amolo Odinga ambaye aliweza kufika hapa kwenye kaunti ya Migori, na Raila tayari anaendelea na shughuli nzima ya kuchukua maoni ya wafuasi wake. Jana na leo atakuwa maeneo ya Pwani, ambapo jana alikuwa Kilifi, na kitu ambacho Raila anaendelea kufanya ni kuchukua maoni ya wafuasi wake na anauliza swali moja kwamba aungane na Rais William Ruto ama awache kuungana na yeye. Na katika kaunti ya Migori tuliona aliandaa mkutano na viongozi mbalimbali, viongozi vya dini, viongozi wafanyabiashara, tulikuwa na bodaboda sector, tulikuwa na bunge la wananchi, tulikuwa na wamama, tulikuwa na vijana, tulikuwa na the professional bodies and all those, and each and every person was telling Raila Amolo Odinga to at least go ahead and sign the document which will ensure that they work together with William Samoei Ruto. And the business community was said that the business community were headed by Bishop Walter Ogwada, who said that since after the Gen Z protests and since Raila Amolo Odinga started working closely with Ruto, then as the business community, they have had a very peaceful and very good business environment, because there's no vandalism, there's no economy is moving, because when there's a strike, everything is at standstill, nothing happens, nothing goes on. And again, the spiritual leaders headed by the chairman of the Bishops One Accord, that is Esau Jobando, also encouraged Raila Amolo Odinga to at least go ahead and sign the document even without opening his eyes. And other leaders, the Bunge la Wananchi, we had Mr. Osewe Charles, who also encouraged Raila Odinga to go and sign the document. And again, Raila Odinga said that he will listen to each and every person's view and ensure that each and every mfuasi wake is ataridhishwa na hatua na uamuzi ambao anatarajiwa kuchukua wiki hii. And again, some leaders also took the podium to send a request to Raila Amolo Odinga to at least ensure that the Migori County fracas and all those things come to an end. Yes, because we need a peaceful county.
Yeah.
And the Super Council of Elders Chairman Riogi told Raila Amolo Odinga, as you are going to sign the document, please, we have a very big problem in Migori County. Help us to kill this problem. Because it is really affecting us, and you are the pillar of the ODM party, yet we have sibling rivalry in the county of Migori. And later he moved to Homa Bay, and then later he moved to Busia, whereby they celebrated the 20 years of ODM as a party. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Lennox. Now I hope we can now get into what is in the People Daily newspaper. Thank you for that comprehensive information on what actually happened in Migori County and in Migori town as politics is concerned. Now, as we look into the People Daily newspaper, looking onto the cover page of the newspaper, we see public finance, how lawyers are milking counties dry. Now that's the story, the big story of the day. The story is there. We're going to give you a brief information of that. And also, we see Tree Haga who rattled the mighty. That's the story of the late Wangari Maathai. It is also there on the cover page. And also we see on page 8 where Kalonzo says, I don't need anyone's endorsement. I can walk this journey alone come 2027. And also we see Sudan opens new war front with Kenya. That is after Kenyan had held after a section of the Sudanese who believed to be rebels had held a meeting in Kenya. We are also going to see that it is also there. But now, as we get into the first page of the People Daily newspaper, we see Sakaja sidesteps city garbage saga, blames suspended staff. Now, remember the incidents witnessed last week, whereby after there had been a war between the Kenya Power and the Nairobi County government, City Hall, whereby the Kenya Power did disconnect the electricity. We did see that a garbage was taken and dumped actually right at the gate of Kenya Power head office in Nairobi. And this brought a lot of tension. We saw the activists coming out saying this is not lawful, this should not have been done. The county government need to work in close relationship with the Kenya Power. At the same time, there was blame game on matters of payment. Now we see the governor for Nairobi, that is Johnson Sakaja, is stepping aside, saying he blames this on somebody who had been sent off, who is not even currently working with the Nairobi County government. Now my question will be, how does somebody who does not work with the Nairobi County government has the strength, has the power to order that the garbages be dumped at that? What is your opinion on that?
You know, it just shows how, let me say, incompetent and how rotten our leaders can be, because you know, when such like thing happened, then it shows that maybe there's something wrong within the government, or rather within the county government. And I saw President William Ruto saying that he called Sakaja and Sakaja apologized. So no, when we are seeing all this, I think what is happening is that Sakaja is just trying to protect his name, because you know, each and every person has got a name to protect. Yeah, so you know, most of the time I just feel these people are just how do we call it, victims of circumstances.
Yes, a victim of circumstances.
Yeah, they're just victims of circumstances, and someone somewhere is trying to cleanse his name. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much on that. Now on that story, we see the devolved unit head apologizes for the shameful act, announces launch of probe on incident that shocked the nation. A story by Masimwai. It is there on page 2 of the People Daily newspaper. Now we move to page 3, where we see Anora emerged biggest winner at the Oscars night. Remember, film festival, the latest edition of the biggest night in film went down on Sunday. At a time, Tinsel town is still smarting from stronger than fiction welfare. You can also grab that for the lovers of stories, movies. Yeah. You can check that. Now moving on to page 4, where we see the story on the cover page. Law firms reap millions from counties in avoidable charges. And we see that in Nairobi, for example, 4 lawyers are owed a combined 6 billion, about 29% of the total 21 billion in legal bills.
You know what I can say is that a lawyer is someone who is, number one, is cunning. Yeah, that is number one. And a lawyer is someone who will always make sure that he or she milks you
dry.
Yes, milks you dry. Yeah, until the last drop, because that's his way of surviving. So you know, even in the county of Migori, it is not even in the counties. We have parastatals. The other day, when we were at Sony Sugar, we just realized that Sony Sugar have got a lot of court cases, around over 2,000, around 2,000 court cases. So you just imagine. So each court cases with a lawyer, each court, and then you have a legal because each and every parastatal, or rather
Has
each
a
and
legal
every company
department.
must have a legal department.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you can just imagine that now you have 2,000 cases and you have to commit them to lawyers and all those how do we call them, advocates and associates, whatever hizo zote. So you can just imagine how these people are really milking the, and they are also again the people who understands the law. So imagine dealing with them.
But again,
6 billion is a lot of money.
a lot of money. My big
Yeah.
question will be, what does the legal, like the county legal department, what does they do? Especially when we go to Nairobi, what do they do? We've never had a situation whereby Nairobi county government
is taken to court.
Is taken to court, and they are going to defend.
Maybe it has been taken to court, but it has not gone to the public domain. But what I know is that most of the time lawyers, they oversee the signing of agreement, and then they advise the county bosses on what to do. And so I just think that hii Nairobi lazima ichunguzwe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The investigations needs to be done.
Yeah.
You can check on that story and read much more comprehensively. A story by Habil Onyango. Now, several private law firms have been minting millions of shillings from county governments for legal services. It has emerged. That's a report from that's a report from the
Nancy
Auditor General.
Gadungu.
Story from Auditor General. You can also check that. Now, moving on to page 5, where we see Sudan opens new war front with Kenya. Now, accuses Ruto government of being rogue state for engaging genocidal militia. Story from correspondents and agencies. Now, Sudan has opened a new war front with Kenya over the latest decision to allow rapid support forces to operate from Nairobi. Sudan reached out to friendly countries in Africa and Arab world to isolate President William Ruto's administration for allegedly throwing support to the rebel group it accused of genocide. Now, describing Kenya as rogue state for having adopted an irresponsible stance by supporting that is rapid support forces. Now, this comes up after it was learned that there was a meeting which was held in Kenya by this group called Rapid Support Forces, which is accused of genocide in Sudan, and which also to some extent is believed to want Sudan to be divided into two again, as they're called rebels. Now, because of the meeting they held in Nairobi at KICC, that is 3 weeks ago, it has sparked a lot of reactions, and now we see that there is no harmony, there's no friendship that had been existing between Kenya and Sudan. And as we see from the story, Sudan has reached out to some of the friendly countries from Africa here and from beyond Africa, that is the Arab nations, calling them to actually see how to deal with President William Ruto, who is the president of the Republic of Kenya. You can also grab a copy and check that more comprehensively. Now, as we move to page 6, where we see tireless tree hugger who uprooted. Now, for decades, Wangari Maathai's strong stance against grabbing of land and private encroachment always put her at loggerhead with the government, and the state often retreated. Now, you can also read that story by Alberto Leni. The story is about much of Wangari Maathai. You remember what Wangari Maathai did? She stood firm when Uhuru Park was to be taken, and the government then, that is in 1989, when the government then wanted to build a park that is a 6-story building, and she stood firm. She sent letters. She said, this is not going to open. This is
Yeah.
a public land.
Yeah.
And we see now Uhuru Park has become a place whereby many Kenyans find peace.
Yeah.
You are tired, you have your issues. It is a recreational
Wakati unaenda
park.
Koinama unafika Uhuru Park.
Yes, you just go there and rest there.
Yeah.
Now you can read much of that story of Wangari Maathai. It spills to page 7, where you will be able to read much. And on page 8, where we see, I need no endorsement for 2027. Now Kalonzo has come out openly and say he does not need endorsement from any person. Wiper leader tells president to stop attacking clerics who does not support some of the things he is engaged in. Now story is by Paul Mutua and Christine Musa. Now Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka on Sunday said he does not need endorsement from anyone to be elected president in 2027. Kalonzo said the presidency is up for grab and that he stands a better chance to take it either by fire or by force.
You know, in politics, you know, each and everyone believes in himself. Because even right now, we see Rigathi Gachagua said that Gema is going to rule for over 100 years, and even encouraged Raila Amolo Odinga to join them. And we've seen leaders such as Uriri MP Mark Nyamita telling him that, you know, big rivers don't join small rivers. It is the small rivers which come and join the big rivers. So Raila is a very big river, and you, Gachagua, you are a very small river, and there is no way Raila can join you. So it's either you come to the government or you remain the other side.
But,
So each,
but let us look at this.
eh,
Do you think Kalonzo on his own can he mass people to elect him, to vote him as the next president of the Republic of Kenya? In
he
your
can't.
opinion.
He can't. He can't, and he can't, and he can't.
But he said he's going to take it by fire or by force.
Yeah, let him try his best, but he can't. Because I remember the last time he tried, alipenya katikati,
And he became the vice president.
and he became the vice president. Yeah. So he's someone who is known as the watermelon. So he can't.
So these are just bad talks.
These are just, you know, how do we call this?
Chest thumping.
Yes, chest. This is just chest thumping. Yeah, because, you know, in politics, each and every leader believes he can. Even right now, how do we call this man? Raila Amolo Odinga believes he can. President Ruto believes he can, and he will win the 2027 election. Rigathi Gachagua believes he can, and he must win the 2027 election and ensure that the Gema community rules for 100 years. Kalonzo Musyoka believes he can. Who again? We have Martha Karua who believes he can.
She can, yeah.
Yeah, she can. So that is what politics is all about. But come 2027, we will see. You will see. We had the likes of Mudavadi who believed he can, and then all of a sudden he just told us tomorrow there will be an earthquake.
An earthquake.
Yeah, and we really waited for that earthquake. And when the earthquake came, we just saw him joining the biggest river.
That was the earthquake. You are saying something about Rigathi Gachagua.
Yeah.
Before I disrupted you.
He believes he can. And what he's saying is that once he will take over the government will rule for over 100 years. And even told Raila, come and join us, bring those numbers, because we already have the numbers. You bring those numbers.
So you just needed a bit of addition of numbers. But my question,
So
where will
he can, yet he still needs the numbers.
Where will you go with this? Because looking at the political landscape right now, I don't think Rigathi stand any chance, because even in Mount Kenya,
Number one, being impeached does not give you any chance to vie for any seat. Yeah, just by being impeached. We have Waititu right now is in prison, industrial area prison, and he will only vie after is it 10 years? I
After
think
10 years?
It was
Yes.
given around 10 years. Yeah. From so with Gachagua and with Kalonzo are they are still very weak. They are still very weak.
But Kalonzo has been in the politics for a
so
while
long.
now.
But even Mudavadi joined politics when he was just 28 years old. All these people, they are they are old people in politics. We have Raila, who is very old in politics, and they still want to be in the political arena, so you just begin to wonder what's happening.
Then come out. We need people like you, so that we stop wonder what is happening.
I might come out, but the problem is mwananchi wa kawaida anataka ile ya kuingiza
Kwa mfuko.
Atakwambia wewe hautoi. Mwananchi wa kawaida anaweza kuambia wewe umebaki. Wewe unaenda kubaki.
Simply because
you don't pull it through
get back.
Your back
pocket.
pocket and when you are a politician, the most painful thing to be told is that wewe unaenda kubaki. Hauendi popote. That's the most painful thing to tell a politician. Just tell any politicians, you know what? In his dome.
Wewe umebaki.
Yeah, wewe umebaki. That politician will have to listen to you. Mbona unasema nimebaki? Maybe this. So even Kalonzo Musyoka, you can't tell him that, you know what, wewe unaenda kubaki 2027. You can't tell him that. Because there are people who really, I know right now there are people, there's a political advisor who really depends on him because hiyo ndio kazi yake. There are people who are surrounding him, who are just pushing him, you know what, you can do this. You can do this, but at the back of his mind, they know very well who you are in popote. By the way, why am I saying that? Why am I saying that?
How can you push somebody and at the back of your mind,
Yeah, now this is why I'm telling you this. There's this day I was having me and my colleagues. I can mention their names because there's Peter Ongesa who works for Radio Arise, there's David Arum who works for Milambo, and there's Hesbon Diege who works for Leeds. So we were storing with one person who happened to be the personal assistant for one prominent person in the county of Migori who vied for a gubernatorial seat. There were two people who really supported that guy and were very close to him. So the only thing they knew very well that this person is going nowhere. Hakuna mahali anaenda, haendi kupata hiki kiti. They knew very well. And in fact, when the aspirant even wanted to pull out, they encouraged him. No, don't leave this thing. You go. Umebaki kwa nomination. Go and get that, how do we call it? Independent. Go get independent ticket. Go. Go for an independent ticket. The guy went for an independent ticket. And they kept on pushing him. You can do this. Today we are going to campaign in Rongo. Today we are going to campaign in Awendo. Today we have a campaign in Nyatike. We are going to Kuria East. We are going to Kuria West. We are going to Suna East, Suna West, Uriri. Go campaign. Because they knew very well that me, I am a driver, or rather me, I have given out my PA system is working for this guy, so akiacha tu hivi, then kazi itakuwa imeisha. You see, so there are people who are surrounding these people who are also pushing them. Go, you can.
For them to mince money.
For them to have their daily to protect their hunger. Because you are my boss and I depend on you
for survival.
For survival, and the only way I can survive is when you are in the political arena. So I don't want you to get out of that political arena. What I want you to do is to be there and be there and be there. That is it.
So I should be there. Okay, that story. Thank you so much, Mr. Lennox. But that story brings us on another story where President William Ruto to join mourners at the burial of Malulu in Kakamega.
Yes.
Now you can also check on that. President William Ruto is to join members of the public and the other leaders in the burial of Malulu in Kakamega County. Now President William Ruto is to lead other mourners in paying their last tribute to Malava MP Moses Malulu Injendi today. We wish Injendi, we are saying we are very sorry for the loss to the family, and we hope it is going to be peaceful. Now getting into page 13, the story that you just shared briefly. Waititu suffers big blow as court declines bail plea. Now we see Waititu, co-accused, had requested a bail as they await hearing and determination of their appeal. But now we see that has not been possible. Former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu suffered a big blow after High Court declined to grant him a bond pending his appeal in the 588 million road tender corruption case. Now we see this is a story that I believe is of importance. You can grab a copy and read much more comprehensively of that story. Now we also see on page 14, 64 Kenyans fall victims to scam and rescued in Thai Myanmar border. The story is Myanmar's scam worker rescues stall amid haggling with hundreds stranded in ethnic armed group camps. Now look at that.
I don't know, what did they go to do there?
You see, like somebody just promising a job. And right now there is no job. So if somebody has promised that there is a job somewhere for you, most definitely just run there. But what's happening is that you see Kenyans had fallen to this scam, and now they're stranded in Thailand.
And surprisingly, they pay.
Yes, they pay. Yeah. You part up with a lot of money. You can also check on that story. It is on page 14. Page 14, and read more comprehensively. Now let me take you to matters of business, where private sector urged to help young innovators market their products. That story is on page 25. That is from Matthew Ndungu. Now government and private sector have been asked to support young innovators, entrepreneurs and creative to commercialize their products. I hope this is going to be a good. You can grab a copy and read that. Now budget boss seeks special kitty for loan repayment. Nyakango says blessing a sinking fund in place will caution the countries from risking debt risk as public debt continues to soar. Now this is what's shocking. When President William Ruto came into power, he said, Kenya, we are not going to borrow anymore. But right now we see each and every day Kenya is borrowing, and the public debt is now increasing. What is really happening?
I'm not an expert in business, but we have to be worried.
We have to be worried. Actually, we have to be worried. The story is by Victor Mokabi. You can grab a copy and read that. Oversight, why there is no silver bullet to AI regulation. You can also read that, artificial intelligence regulation. And also you see private security industry poised for app disruption. So let's check on that story. Now let me move with speed to matters to do with
sports.
Not sports really, but world news.
Okay.
Panic as Pope's condition worsened suddenly after calm. You can also check that for.
But this news was also very funny. I read somewhere, I don't know whether it was true or not true, that the burial whatever is underway, burial preparation, burial rehearsal, something like that is underway.
For Pope. Where did you see? You have to be very careful with the type of news that you read.
Yeah, I read it somewhere and I really wondered, how is this possible?
Be careful with fake news.
But it was on our social media, so you know, social media is always being misused.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can check that 10 years after becoming the world's youngest nation, that is what on South Sudan met with instability. Now that's when Pope became Pope then, but now we see he's unwell, and many people are really praying for him, and we hope he's going to recover soon. You can also check that. Also now is now when we get to sports, matters of sports. On matters of sports, let me get to Equity Hawk recovers from 2 consecutive games lost to Wallop KPA. Now that's on matters of basketball. For the lovers of basketball, story from Bosco Mugari. You can grab a copy and read that story. We believe it is of importance. Let's meet in court. Boxing administrator Martin Luther says BAK polls were sham, seeking legal redress as he also sues sport registrar. Now, boxing has not been given a lot of prominence in the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
But let us hope that something is going to come out. The going gets tough. When the going gets tough, Tusker squanders chance against to close gap on leader Shabana as leaders and Shabana hammers on boys. That is on Kenya football. Rather Kenya Premier League. Kenya Premier League. You can also check that story. Gor Mahia resigned Omala,
Naben, Stanley and Opande.
Nab, Stanley and Opande. Now Omala had been playing in Gor Mahia, but now he's been resigned back. Let's see what's going to happen. We don't know whether this time round Gor Mahia is going to get something. Zaka's influence grows as Leverkusen prepares for Bayern showdown in Berlin on Monday. Now, I'm not going to continue further before I check on the table which is there, English Premier League. I know there are some people are now just laughing and laughing. It's okay, but looking at the English Premier League table, we see there Liverpool leading with 67 points, Arsenal coming second with 54 points, Nottingham Forest with 48, and Man City coming in with 47. Don't be shocked if Man City finishes third place. As you see things going.
No.
Even second place.
Yeah. No, Man City, the highest they can finish is third place. I don't see them going, and even Chelsea might finish third place.
Yeah, my question is, looking at this, Arsenal sitting in the second position is just like 7 points away from Man City.
Yeah.
And you know, the Arsenal performance has not been as good as the previous due to the injuries that they have.
7 points, that is 2 wins
so
and 1 draw.
They only need Arsenal to draw 1 game and they win, and they'll bridge the gap to 4 points.
So do you think as Arsenal will... No, Man City must also lose somewhere in between.
Man City has come from far.
Yeah, but
they've come from
what I want you to know is that right now Man City cannot overtake Arsenal. Man City can only overtake Nottingham Forest. In fact, even Chelsea can overtake Man City and Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
And I don't know where this Nottingham Forest came from.
It's a good team.
Yeah, where is Manchester United?
Manchester United is in position 14.
Good.
We are down there, position 14.
Good.
That is 33 points. We are tying with the Tottenham Hotspur.
It's like Leicester City is going back, Southampton is going back, Ipswich is going back.
And you think Manchester will go back? We only, as Manchester, we only need like a win. If we win the next game, we are going to move to 37 points. That's still going to see us to position 12, unless Crystal Palace loses and Manchester wins, which we doubt. But Manchester has not been performing well, especially in the FA, where we were kicked out
by,
you know,
It's okay. I don't want to hurt a friend.
No, it is not hurting. What we know is that I'm a footballer. I played football, so I understand the game. I know in football there is winning and there is losing. So we are not going to hurt.
There is draw.
Na siyokubali kushindwa sio
Mshindani.
good. We accept it. That's why I'm saying we have been kicked out of FA. And you see, it is just like we don't know when the next person is going to be kicked out. When Arsenal was kicked out, we celebrated. We don't know the next person when they are going to be kicked out. And we really pray that they are not kicked out because they are the next coming. They are coming back. I hope your team is not the team I'm talking about.
No,
But let us
Chelsea.
hope for
You
the
can't
best.
speak about Chelsea. Chelsea is in position 5.
No, I'm talking about it, FA. We are out of there.
No, we don't contest for small things. We contest for bigger things.
My friend, FA is one of the biggest competition.
Our main goal this time round was to play Champions League. And we're going to play Champions League. Yes.
Okay, I get you. Now, looking at La Liga, where we have Barcelona with 57 topping on the table, followed by Atletico Madrid with 56 and Real Madrid at 54. Here is where there's a stiff competition.
Yeah.
You can also check there. And also coming to German Bundesliga, we see Bayern Munich with a 61 point, Leverkusen 53, and Frankfurt. There you can also check there. Italia Serie A, we also see Inter Milan 58, Napoli 57, Atlanta 55 points. You can also check that. Those are some of how the table looks like when it comes to major leagues in football. Now, looking onto this story, will McCarthy take Star to Canon? Have loved McCarthy. From the time he played for South Africa, he went to Bolton Wanderers. He has done great in the world of football. Now, South Africa tactician says positive on Kenya's World Cup qualification chances as he is unveiled as a head coach until after AFCON 2027. And we see that. Let us hope that McCarthy is going to do his best and see Kenya moving forward. And also we see sports, science and health call on science for transgender policies. Now, International Paralympic Committee President Person calls for key focus on issues. You can read that story from London. And also we see Madrid derby in Europe. That's a game to watch. Spanish rivals Real and Atletico square out in Champions League knockout. What do you think? Who is going to win?
I have always not loved Real Madrid.
Why?
So you have my answer.
Why have you not loved Madrid?
Because of Roro. Because of Roro.
Okay. Let us get to the quote of the day on page 10. There are some things to discuss.
No, sijaimpenda huyo mtu. Yeah, and any team he has played in, that team becomes my enemy.
Okay.
Be it Manchester United, be it Real Madrid, be it I don't know. Even if he will be the coach of Chelsea, that's the time I'll hate Chelsea.
Okay.
If he'll come to play at Chelsea, I'll really nitahamia.
I want you to take on the quote of the day.
Quote of the day.
You take on the thought of the day.
No, I can't take.
I'll take on the quote of the day.
Yes, we
All
have
the quotes.
We have Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka. Ruto must stop attacking the Catholic Church and Muslims for exposing his corruption deals. Kenyans have had enough of his trickery. That is Wiper party leader. Then we have Governor Ochilo Ayako, Migori governor. These people are not fair. This person is a doctor. Yeah, so Migori governor, Dr. Ochilo Ayako. Yeah. This 200 million shillings from World Bank funding will allow us to strengthen our water systems, ensuring that more households have access to clean and safe water. He was speaking after being funded by the World Bank, around 200 million shillings. Not billion, it's 200 million shillings. Don't go and kill the governor. We have Morera Ward, MCA Moses Ngath. Morera is in Kiambu County, around Georgia, on your way to Thika.
Okay.
Morera. We will not continue like this. We must face off the Georgia Kiambu Dam to protect the lives of our people. We will also put enough signs to warn the public against swimming in the dangerous area.
Now that happens after two university students drowned in the dam.
In the dam.
Yeah, you can.
Students.
Yeah, that story is on page in the People Daily newspaper. Please grab a copy and read. Take on the cartoon of the day.
Cartoon of the day, I can see Wanjiku. Wanjiku anaingia kwenye nyumba. Lakini nyumba hii haina mwangaza. And then nyumba hii imeandikwa inside Ruto's affordable housing project. So we have Wanjiku there, amevaa sketi ya ambayo iko na rangi ya Kenya. Akona mtoto wake pale, wanashangaa na kubungaa. And she's saying that I am in total darkness. He doesn't understand. He doesn't see anything in the house.
Yeah, that's the Ruto's
housing project.
Now you can also check that and read more. Now on the thought of the day from your favorite.
From my favorite, Karl Marx. Yeah, this is the best person.
Karl Marx is saying,
the ruling ideas of each age have ever been the ideas of its ruling class. This one I don't. I only understand the other one.
What does this one say?
I don't understand this.
The ruling ideas of each age.
Yeah, have ever been the ideas of its ruling class.
Now, when we talk about the age here, we talk of dispensation, a period of time. Like for example, when you talk about decade, during this decade, we have people who are ruling in this decade. Now, the ruling ideas of this decade, of this age that we are in, have ever been ideas of the ruling class. Those who are ruling us, those who are in the reign of power. Like for example, the President William Ruto is in the reign of power at this age in the Republic of Kenya. Now, the idea of ruling Kenya, the way Kenya is being governed,
is his idea.
So those, in other words, Karl Marx is saying, those who rules at a given period of time, it is their idea that rules that regime or that time.
I get you.
Good.
Thank you.
That's the thought of the day. I don't know whether producer has something to say. We're gonna bring you here today and say something. Okay, thank you so much, my dear viewers, for keeping tuned to BTV, to the vibrant morning. We have to take this. We have to come to a stop, and remember, coming next is we're going to bring you live what's happening in Kakamega, that is in the burial of
Malulu Inje.
Please keep tuned. We bring everything live. You will watch from your disposal, from whichever you are. Sum it up.
Have a good day and prepare for the rains. The way you're preparing for it, I don't care. I am Odede.
Speed TV Kenya, your home live TV. Vibrant Morning with BTV.
Utamu na urembo wa maisha hubainishwa na kumbukumbu za kipekee zinazowafanya wapendwa wetu kupendezwa na urembo huo. Blackman Digitech Studio sasa ndiyo studio pekee inayoweza kukupea kumbukumbu kama hizi. Tunatoa huduma kama vile birthday shoots, graduation shoots, baby shower shoots, banner designing and printing, indoor and outdoor photoshoot, roll-up banners, t-shirt branding